Hello and welcome everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Amy McCarroll and I will be your instructor this semester for Fundamentals of Communication Web Edition for the summer semester. I wanted to take a few moments to introduce myself briefly as well as review the class expectations, the syllabus, the course objectives, and kind of what you can expect over the course of the summer semester. Typically, the first day of class I like to call National Syllabus Day because we just go over simply what I said, the syllabus, and what is expected of you, and any questions that you may have. This is typically a class that is taught during the normal semester of either fall or spring. It is a condensed version since it is summer semester. It will go at a much faster pace. I highly encourage you to get a planner, some sort of organizer, something to help you stay on track of your assignments. I am a huge fan of the Law of Attraction planner. I get it on Amazon. I think it's maybe $35 or $40, but it is kind of my lifeline. It divides my entire day into 30-minute increments. It really helps me stay on track and stay organized with all of my classes. It also has different motivational quotes, and it is kind of geared towards more of a path of self-growth and personal development. Another thing that I have is called a Kindle Scribe. It is very similar to an iPad, but you have a pen that is a digital pen. You can create different folders. I think you can do this on an iPad too. I have an iPad. I've just never done that with my iPad, but you can. I like this because you just have different folders. It also lets you take notes, and then you can actually move the notes to an actual document if you want to have it in a digital format. There is a lot of research that says there is a connection between pen to paper opposed to taking notes digitally. So I am just a huge fan of that. Of course, it is a matter of preference. I personally prefer to do the pen to paper option, but this is digital, so but you still write, so kind of the same thing. But there is a lot of research that says if you are typing your notes, then you don't actually process and absorb the material as you would if you were writing it. But whatever works for you, if you want to use a digital planner on your phone, but there is a lot of information that we will go over in a very short time span. So I would just have some sort of system that you develop for yourself to make sure that you do not fall behind. This is a web class, but we do not have a designated meeting time. I will record and post lecture videos that you will be required to watch. I may ask you questions about things that I have listed in the video or talked about in the video. You will have a lot of discussion boards. In a traditional classroom, we would go over things in a discussion, but since we don't have the classroom, I will create discussion posts, and then you will be asked to have an initial post with a certain word count as well as a response time to some of your classmates with as well as a certain word count. You do not need a textbook for this class. I will be providing you with all of the information that you need. I have developed the curriculum for this course based upon textbooks, but it is not something that you will need for the class. You will need access to a computer, of course, Wi-Fi or internet connection. If you think that there may be a struggle with that, you can always obtain a Wi-Fi hotspot. I think you can get it from the library for free. I think they'll let you rent it out for the semester. So you can do that if you think that that may be a problem. And then you can have note cards. Of course, this is Fundamentals of Communication, but this is a very heavy public speaking class. You will record your videos, and I will provide specific assignment sheets and instructions for all of those videos. You can have note cards, but you are not allowed to read your note cards. You must have them as a guide. The goal is to prepare your speeches based upon knowledge of the material, not based upon reading. If you are reading, that is not truly a presentation. So you can have note cards, but you cannot have notes like on a piece of paper, or I had a student one semester that had a bunch of note cards on a big ring. I think she may have had all of her classes on there, but she just flipped through the entire time for all of her speeches. That creates a distraction. You want to make sure that you only have the information you are going to need for your particular speech, and then have that with you and keep it as simple and short and sweet as possible. Only have that as a guide. And again, all of this takes time. The things that we go over and the things that you will learn in this class, I do not expect for you to learn them overnight. Sometimes it takes years of practice. But if you have notes, please make sure that you have the note cards. You will need to have a PowerPoint slide for every presentation that you do, a PowerPoint, and then all speeches are going to be 5 to 7 minutes. And then we will go over how to properly construct a PowerPoint, what is expected of you in that sense. But every speech will have a presentation PowerPoint slide as well. You can go above and beyond and have it connected to your computer, like connected to your TV. If you know how to do that, you are more than welcome to do that. But the PowerPoint does need to be visible in your presentation. If you do not know how to work out the technology to do that, then I would recommend you have a phone and you record yourself with your phone, and then also have maybe your computer or an iPad beside you so that you can see yourself and the PowerPoint in the recording so that both are visible. If you just upload your PowerPoint and then you don't actually have it while you're presenting, then that is not you learning how to use the PowerPoint to do your presentation. So actually having it and talking as you're going through the slides is important. You also will need to create a YouTube account if you have not already. I do ask that all videos be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. For all of your speeches, they have to be at least 5 to 7 minutes. If they are recorded and posted through some other file format, I've received MP3s, MP4s, some things I've never heard of, but I also have a MacBook Pro. I'm not sure if that's why, but for some reason, there's just always issues with me accessing the files. If you create a YouTube and upload the link there, that is a safe option. I should be able to access it without any issues as long as you have your privacy settings adjusted. Be mindful of that whenever you create them. There is an option, I forget exactly how it's worded, but it says something to the effect of share this with only people you choose to share the link with, or something to that effect, or you can make it always public. Totally up to you. You probably don't want a video of you doing a speech or presentation on YouTube forever. If you want to delete it after I grade it and after your classmates respond, then you can definitely do that. Just please at least keep it public long enough for me to be able to grade it, and long enough for your classmates to respond. You will have 5 major speeches. This class is made up of a 1,000 point system. If you want to pause the video and pull up your syllabus as well, it is located under the content section of Momentum, and there is a tab that says syllabus. If you want to go along and look at the syllabus as I'm reviewing it, you're more than welcome to do that. I do try to explain everything as thoroughly as possible, though, because there is a lot of information. But it is a 1,000 point system. All of your assignments that you complete are based upon that 1,000 point system. All of your major speeches, all 5 of those, are going to be worth 100 points. I do have everything in a generalized overview on the schedule, and we will try to stay on track for all of the assignments week by week according to schedule. There is, however, a clause in the syllabus subject to change at any time. I don't foresee anything happening with the summer semester and the nature of this class that could derail us from the actual schedule, but I do have it as tentative just in case. I will post specific deadlines for the speeches as well, and for all of the assignments. I usually try to do my best to give you at least 1 week's notice to have preparation for the assignment. However, since this is a condensed summer class, I apologize if you don't have a full week's notice, but I will do my best to do that as well. But like I said, since it is summer, we're compiling an entire semester's worth of work into one semester in the summer, into just 2 months. But I will do my best to give you a week notice. I will post the assignments. Usually all speeches will have an outline, and I'll go over how to do the outlines. All major speeches have an outline that will be due on Sundays, and then your actual presentation needs to be uploaded to the discussion board by Monday. Of course, if there's any holidays or anything, then I won't have assignments due on those days. The 4th of July is actually on a Thursday. I think that's the only upcoming holiday, except Juneteenth is also on a Wednesday. And then Father's Day is the 16th, so I will also try to be mindful to not have assignments due on holidays as well. Once I post the assignment, though, it is open, and then there are, of course, due dates, but it is also intended to be a little self-paced. You don't have to be in class at a specific time to actually do the presentation. But for example, the speech outlines would always typically be due on Sunday before midnight, and then the actual speeches would be due on Monday, but it would be before midnight, so you could upload it anytime that day. The 5 major speeches that you will be doing will be the introduction speech, the informative speech, a demonstration speech, a storytelling speech, and a persuasive speech. And as we move forward, I will continue to post different videos to explain those things in more detail. Also, I will open a tab under content that says resources, and then you will find information there. I would keep an eye out for announcements. The announcements will be the primary source of communication for this class. If there is a new assignment, a deadline, or new information, tools, resources available for you, then you will be able to find that under the content section as well. All of the major speeches, all 5 of those are going to be worth 100 points each that go into the account for the 1,000 point system. All 5 of those major speeches will have 20 points worth in addition to the 100 for the outline. So all outlines are required, but they are 20 points each. And then I'll do a video explaining how to do the outline, and then I'll also post the samples as well. There are going to be 2 reflective papers. The first reflective paper is going to be a personal experience about you, your anxiety, fears, or even confidence with public speaking or communication or leadership, anything that is related to the class material. But I ask that you write a 1,500 word paper that is going to be about your personal experience. It will be something about basically anything about what you have accomplished with public speaking, if there's a time that you feel uncomfortable in certain environments, what you hope to gain from this class, and areas that you would like to see yourself grow in. I do ask that you cite at least 3 sources for that. The sources are, of course, intended to support your writing, but the bulk of it should be primarily your work. At the end of the class, at the end of the semester, we will do another reflective paper, but that reflective paper will kind of be a recap. It will be what you did learn from the class, how you feel like you did. Did you improve? Did you reach any of the goals that you set out to achieve for yourself in this class? So kind of a different reflection. So a reflection before and then a reflection after the class. Both of those are worth 25 points each on the 1,000 point system, and both of those papers have to be at least 1,500 words, citing at least 3 sources. And then you will be required to attend a Toastmasters meeting. The Toastmasters meeting is, in case you've never heard of Toastmasters, Toastmasters is a worldwide organization that puts a focus on leadership, public speaking, and communication. You go to the group and it is an incredible community. It's usually a smaller group of people, maybe my club usually has 15 to 20 people show up. We meet every Thursday. I am the current vice president of the West Knoxville Toastmasters chapter, but in the Knoxville area alone, I think last time I checked, there was like 27 clubs. There's a lot of different clubs. I think our club, my personal club, has, I think, close to 50 members, but attendance is optional. You show up whenever you want because if it is a self-paced option to do Toastmasters, and it's volunteer. So every week, not everyone comes. It could be 20 people, could be 30, could be 10, but it is tended usually a smaller community, but it's a great community. You give speeches, people critique you, give you valuable feedback, explain what you did well, what you could improve upon, things along those lines. So you will be asked to attend a Toastmasters event at some point throughout the semester over the course of the next 2 months. The class officially starts today, which is June 3rd, and it will end on July 29th. So you have plenty of time. You can attend an in-person event. Meetings occur all over the world, pretty much all hours of the day. You can go to one locally. There's an Oak Ridge Toastmasters chapter. I do have a class that I teach at the Oak Ridge Rome State in the evenings. Oak Ridge Toastmasters actually does have their normal meeting place at Roan State in a classroom, and I have them come into my classroom in person, and they do a mock meeting for my students in the classroom. They've been doing that for several years now. It is a great experience. So you could always do that. There's lots of clubs. You can look to see if one fits your schedule. You don't necessarily have to go to an in-person meeting. A lot of the ones locally do have in-person, but you could even find one in Colorado and attend virtually. It does not have to be an in-person face-to-face. Not all meetings do meet virtually though. I will post a tool of how to find the Toastmasters clubs in your area, and you have it's a tool like a search. It allows you to narrow down the specifications of what you're looking for. So if you're wanting specifically on Saturdays that meets virtually, you can put in those filters and then it'll populate what is available for whatever the criteria is that you put in the fields. And then it's relatively easy. A Toastmasters meeting is only 1 hour, so it won't take up too much of your time. But what I will have you do is, after you have attended the Toastmasters meeting, then I will have you do a presentation on Toastmasters. And whenever you do the presentation, I will just have a 5 to 7 minute video explaining what happened if you liked it, what your experience was. I will also ask that you collect the name of the president and the vice president of that particular club and either mention that information in the video or type it and have it attached to the submission so that I can confirm that you did actually indeed attend the actual meeting. So I will ask that you do that. And then we will also go over business communication during the semester about how important it is to communicate in the business world. I will also ask that you attend a business networking group. Again, those happen virtually. Those are also in person. A business networking group, in case you don't know, is an opportunity for you to network and communicate with other people. You can go to one in person. It can be a way to leverage your own personal growth professionally. You can meet other business professionals, and the goal is to help each other and connect to get each other to where you want to be. So you may go to a group and maybe you just graduated with a degree in marketing and you meet John over here and his dad owns a marketing firm. He could connect you with his dad. So that's kind of how that works. But I will post more details about what the business networking group is and what that kind of entails. I will ask that for both of those be completed before the end of the semester. I will post specific deadlines and dates to have both of those videos uploaded. They each have to be 5 to 7 minutes, and then you have to attend them. They can be virtual. There are lots of different networking groups. Meetup is a good app, but I'll also post resources of how to find those. But attending the Toastmasters event and attending the business networking event, both of those will each be worth 25 points of your grade. Out of the 1,000 point system. And then there will be a final exam. The final exam will be worth 100 points, and then there will be 200 points that is worth participation. So participation points include responding to your classmates for the discussion boards. That could include other activities that I ask you to do. There will be ungraded assignments, and I will ask that you complete the ungraded assignments, but they go into that participation bank. So if you don't respond to discussion boards, then there will be a percentage, certain points knocked off of your 200 points for the semester by not doing that. If I ask you to complete an assignment and you fail to do so, you will lose participation points. So there's a lot of ways that you can do that, but as long as you do what you're asked and participate in all the assignments, then that should not create a problem or anything. You will be asked to do an evaluation on yourself, and then I will also ask you to evaluate somebody else. I will assign people for you to evaluate. So I will pair you up with somebody and have you evaluate their speech and then offer feedback. We will use the same evaluation form that we do in a Toastmasters meeting. I will ask that for all presentations, you show full body length. I do not want to see just your face. I don't want to see you laying in bed. I don't want to see you propped up on the table. I want it to be a professional speech. One of the course objectives for this class is that you learn how to present in a professional setting, in a corporate work environment. How will you show up to give a speech? And if you are not implementing those things, then it could easily fall into a habit. Even if you know how, then bad habits can still sometimes become habits. So I just ask that you show full body. I need to see head to toe. One of the things that we will be discussing is the importance of speech delivery, body language, your tone, your hand gestures, the way that you present yourself, your attire. All of those things matter in your presentation. If I cannot see full body length, then that means that I cannot give a full, true evaluation over your speech delivery. So please make sure that I can see all of you. This is not necessarily a requirement per se, but if you are in a position to do this, then I would encourage you to challenge yourself to create an audience and have the audience visible in the recording, so that I can see that you do have an audience. So again, not required, but the way that the class structure just has you record videos, it is not necessarily the same as presenting in front of a true audience. So if you can, again, not required, but I would encourage you to collect an audience, 5 or 10 people who can actually watch you present. It could be your friends, family, or whoever, your neighbors. But if you can, try to go that extra mile to really challenge yourself so that you can get the full benefit and the growth of actually doing public speaking. All papers must be submitted in MLA format. I will also post resources of how to properly cite sources in MLA format if you do not know how to do that. There is a website called Purdue OWL that is definitely a great resource for you to reference. If you do not know how to cite sources, if you do not understand the meaning of MLA format or anything else about the course material, please do not hesitate to reach out. I am more than happy to assist you. I can have a time to meet with you. I do not necessarily have designated office hours since this is a virtual course, but I can schedule a phone call, FaceTime, Zoom session, whatever you need, and we can talk more in detail about whatever you need clarification on or whatever you're struggling with. So I'm more than happy to do that. All assignments, of course, should be pretty standard, as I would assume they are with your other classes. Needs to be in 12-point font, double space, Times New Roman font, 1-inch margins. All of your work must be your original work. Most of these assignments are kind of difficult to do that with because you do have to put forth your own effort, especially with the reflection papers, because it is your personal experience. We do have ways of detecting if artificial intelligence, AI, has been used. I'm sure most of you are familiar with AI. Some classes even allow you to use AI. It is in the syllabus that AI is strictly prohibited for the sake of this class. It does go against academic integrity. If there are suspicions or there has been a determination that you have used AI to submit an assignment, and yes, we will check, then you will automatically receive a 0 for that assignment. If it becomes a trend, further disciplinary action may be taken, and it could be a conversation with the dean, the department head. There's a lot of different variables, but we will cross that bridge if it happens. But hopefully everyone can keep their integrity and not actually do that. If you are using AI, of course, in other areas of your life, it can be a great tool. It can be a great resource, but you on the college level, especially community college level, you are learning. You're in the process of developing yourself professionally, career-wise. You are learning a lot of information, and if you are having a computer do the work for you, you are only creating a disservice for yourself, because that takes away from the overall learning process. You want to make sure that you're actually allowing yourself to get the full benefit and actually learn. I hope most of you know this, but please do not use Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not a valid source. Wikipedia can be altered at any time by anyone and anywhere. You can literally go in and make anything say, like, I could go in and type in Kim Kardashian and edit her page and say, Kim Kardashian is no longer famous. Kim Kardashian has discontinued her career. I could write anything about anyone and it would pop up on Wikipedia. That means it is not a credible source. We will spend some time, hopefully most of you know, but we will spend some time actually working on sources and credibility, understanding what is a credible source, what is not. And then I do not accept late work under any circumstances. I do understand life happens, unfortunately. I know people can, you could get sick, be put in the hospital, have the death of a loved one, have car problems. I do know that life happens. Hopefully that does not happen to none of you during the time we are in this class. If for some reason it does and it creates a reason for you to be late on an assignment, all of that will be on a case-to-case basis. Please send me an email. This is a communication class, so I do expect you to communicate. So send an email or a text message, whatever it is. I will ask for documentation. If you had to go to the ER, please send me a doctor's note. If you had a flat tire or you had to tow your car and that was a stressful event for you, please send a copy of the tow bill. Show some sort of documentation to show me why you were not able to complete your classwork. Again, this is a communication class, so I do expect you to communicate. The more likely you are to communicate with me, then the more likely I am to work with you. If you just go MIA and you don't show up and then you just expect to pop back up, the chances of me working with you are much more slim. So I highly encourage you, if there is a problem, please do your best to communicate with me. For the first assignment, I am going to ask that you create 15 goals for yourself. This is normally a 15-week class. I know it is condensed into a summer edition, but I will ask, since it is normally a 15-week class, please create 15 goals for yourself about public speaking, about communication, about something you want to accomplish. It could be at work, something related to communication, leadership, or public speaking. And then I will ask that you post those in the discussion board. And then also I will post a discussion for a brief introduction about yourself with due dates, specific instructions, and deadlines. Please make sure you get those completed as soon as possible. Since this is a web class, we don't have a traditional meeting. I have to report attendance. Your attendance is crucial, of course, for financial aid purposes and staying enrolled in the class, but I have to report attendance based upon your assignment submission. So if you do not complete the first couple of assignments, I will report you as not attending, and that could create some further issues for you. You have my personal Rhone State email listed on the syllabus, and then there is also my personal cell phone number listed. I would highly recommend that you choose one of those communication methods. I can check the momentum messages, and I do check them on occasion, but I do not check them as frequently as I do my text messages or my Rhone State email. If you send me a message on Momentum and I don't respond for a week, please keep that in mind. Be mindful that I do not check those on a regular basis. If you send me a text message or if you email me, then there will generally be a 24 to 48 business hour response time. Keep in mind that means I may or may not respond on weekends. If you have questions about a particular assignment, I highly encourage you to ask sooner rather than later. A lot of times assignments are due on Sundays. I can't count how many times that I get a ton of messages, a ton of emails, phone calls, everything on a Sunday right before the assignment is due. I may respond, but there is a chance that I may not. I teach at other classes, I teach at other colleges, other courses, and of course, I have a life outside of class. I ask that you please respect me and be considerate of my time. I don't want to see 17 text messages in a day. I don't want the same message going to my email, to my phone, to Momentum. And yes, that has happened. Just hoping that I'll see one of them sooner rather than later. Please do not do that. That will create a greater response time. It also creates more work for me and more time that I could be responding to other students. So please don't do that. I will see your message. I will see it. I will typically respond 24 to 48 hours, business hours. The classes at Rome State are Monday through Thursday. It is a 4-day work week now. So that means emails will generally be sent, or text messages I will generally respond Monday through Thursday. Again, it is possible I may respond on the weekend, but please don't bank on it. Just be mindful of that. And then there are a lot of resources listed on the syllabus. If you need access to those, there is free counseling services available if you are struggling with some sort of personal matter. And then there is an interview closet. If you do not have access to any type of business attire, you can access that for free. I think it stays locked, so you may have to ask somebody in the office to get that unlocked for you. But it is free, and you can take whatever you want from the interview closet. And then basically, the attendance policy, since this is a virtual class, you don't necessarily have attendance per se, but if you are required to submit an assignment by a specific date and you don't do that, then that could go along with the attendance policy because you did not attend for that assignment. So again, please communicate with me so that I know that you are staying active and you are staying involved in the class. But it will go fast. Please make sure that you stay on top of everything. I will post information each week. I will again post resources, post assignment sheets and instructions for specific deadlines and for a specific assignment instructions and the rubric. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Do not hesitate to contact me for any reason. I am here to help, and I want to ensure that everyone does well this semester and is successful. So please reach out if you have any questions. I will talk to you soon. Have a good day.